Hey folks, this is Kelani. It looks like patch 7.3.5 will in fact go live on January 16th for us US realms, and January 17th for EU realms, and then January 18th for Asian realms. So this week is the release week of the much anticipated patch 7.3.5. Even though this isn't a huge content patch, there are quite a few things which you probably want to be aware of, so let's have a look at what content you'll be able to explore and sink your teeth into when the servers come up from that blasted extended maintenance. First things first, this patch does not unlock the allied races. That will either come later with another patch, or when Battle for Azeroth pre-purchase becomes available, so we'll still have to wait quite a bit on those races, sadly. Now, the most exciting feature coming with this patch is probably the world scaling, which you hopefully know all about unless you've been hiding under a rock for the last few months. Basically, the entire world will scale to you with a few restrictions. Vanilla only scales up to 60, so you'll have to move on from vanilla zones when you hit 60, just as before, but every zone in vanilla that isn't a starting area scales up to 60, which should hopefully open up many choices when it comes to where you want to level. After 60, you can move on to either the Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King zones, which will scale from 60 to 80, once again giving you plenty of choices for questing areas, and then 80 to 90 gives you the option of Kata or Mists of Pandaria zones. So everything is much more open, and hopefully a lot more fun to work your way through. I can't wait to see how leveling really pans out with these changes in place. There's also tweaks and tuning to player damage and power, monster damage and power, and the overall experience required to level, so you won't be one-shotting mobs quite as often, and some of them might prove to be more troublesome at times, which definitely felt a little strange when I was playing it on the PTR, but ultimately very fun. Leveling will never be the same again. The other amazingly awesome feature, which arguably should have been in the game a while ago, is the ability to purchase legendary items from a vendor. Sadly, it's still random which legendary you get, but you can collect up your Awakening Essences and purchase a token from the same guy who has been upgrading our legendaries the entire expansion. You can trade 1000 Awakening Essence for a legendary. Now that might sound like a lot, but don't worry, we'll be earning them significantly faster now that patch 7.3.5 is live. Happy farming. Even though it's not strictly tied to patch 7.3.5, the last wing of Looking for Raid Antorus will also be available, which is pretty important because going through all of Antorus and seeing the last boss fall is one of the requirements to start up the new quest lines down in Silithus. The skybox will also be changing, so we won't get to see Argus in the sky for much longer, and that signifies our moving away from Legion-based content so we can make our preparations to start a new faction war to kick off Battle for Azeroth. Once you've killed Argus, head on down to Silithus to check how the story will progress from here. There's a big sword in the ground and a whole bunch of shiny rocks we'll later decide to call Azerite that both factions want. There's a few initial quests down there, and the rest of the story is expected to unfold over the next few months as we decide what to do about the wound in Silithus, how our artifacts could help, and just how badly we want to get our hands on all that Azerite. Part of the story will unlock a new battleground, the Seething Shore, where the Horde and Alliance will fight over control of even more sources of Azerite. That battleground won't be available right as the patch launches. We'll have to wait for the story to progress a little bit further, so keep your eyes peeled as a new battleground hasn't come our way in quite a while, so that's super exciting. Another part of the patch that we won't see for a little while is Ulduar Time Walking. Mark your calendars for February 13th, as that's the week when Wrath of the Lich King Time Walking comes around again, so it's the first time we'll be able to delve into Yogg-Saron's prison in Time Walking mode. And that's pretty much all of the big stuff, but there's a few extra additions which you might be interested in. If you haven't secured your account with an authenticator yet, there's no time like the present, as you will gain 4 extra bag slots for having your account tied to an authenticator or the SMS Protect feature. It now pays to protect your stuff. There's also a few changes to the Selfie Cam. If you didn't play during Warlords of Draenor, don't fret, you can now pick up the Selfie Cam and the Selfie Cam Mark II from low-level quests, so they're now very easy to obtain. There's also 5 new Selfie Cam filters to obtain which are hidden somewhere in-game. All dungeons will now reward personal loot as well, which means quite a few things for a variety of people. Leveling up, you shouldn't see too many changes, but anyone who farms lower level dungeons for transmog gear might want to test this out to see how your loot drops are affected. I think for the most part it shouldn't be too bad, probably just a minor decrease in loot, if any at all. Mythic Keystones will also see a bit of an interesting change. Battle Reses will be limited to once per 10 minutes, meaning stacking B-Reses isn't going to be anywhere near as powerful. I think this is going to be a great change, especially with round 2 of the Mythic Dungeon Invitational coming around. Progression PvE should be limited in the same ways. We've had Battle Res restrictions on raids for quite a while now. Expanding that to Mythic Plus sort of just makes sense. And as always with any patch, there's a multitude of class changes which are too numerous and boring to go through together, but I'll give you a link to the patch notes in the comments section below so you can peruse those at your own leisure. So, not a huge patch, but quite a lot will be changing, and honestly I'm excited for all of it. So that's what you can expect from patch 735. What are you most excited about? The leveling changes or the legendary tokens? Maybe those Selfie Cam filters have got you all hot and bothered? Leave all your thoughts in the comments section below. Remember to leave a like just below the video before you leave, and if you want to see more, make sure to subscribe. But apart from that, thanks for watching folks, good luck and have fun, and as always I will see you next time.